Hello and welcome to Healing Space with Gently Healing. I am Jen Tilley and I'm super excited to be with you guys today. Hello, Willow. It is nice to see you. Thank you for holding space, especially at that beginning. I want to thank Robert Howley for putting that music together with my flute playing. And man, I love it so much. And us just starting out. I love you so much, Willow. Thanks for being here. And Jacob, meow. Nice to see you. Oh, awesome. You are here. Hello, Robert. This is awesome. I just love to be here with all of you guys. Boy, another week has gone by. I did sneak in an extra podcast with Zach and Aaron's show this week. That was a lot of fun. I would love to hear how all of you guys are doing today. I want to say welcome to the space and welcome to anyone that's new that might be tuning in. You've come to a good spot and a good community. And man, I am super grateful to be here with all of you guys. It has been quite a magnificent week for me. We're just like, where it just went very well. And I got to do some self healing work. And like today was actually a pretty awesome day. I would say I had a lot of novelty in the space, and I just can really feel like as if my vibration is higher. Which is a very like always interesting experience when you can feel the shift in that energy and just like keeping balanced within that space. And I've had, a lot of hello, Zach. I'm happy you're tuned in. So yeah, man, like today, for example, it's just been such like a growth process to go on this journey. Like, what is it to be your authentic self, to be you and to show up, to build confidence within that space, to learn to speak your truth, not to just agree with everything in front of you, but to question everything it is that you believe, and what that journey really looks like. And I can tell you in the beginning, when I started to make the choices, to make the changes, it really shrunk my world very small. Where, well, like I talk about a lot of my journey being very isolated, and there's people that just couldn't be in my life at that time. Like when you start navigating and doing your shadow work, or just following the next indicated step, it's just very important to learn to set your boundaries. And for me, when I went out on my journey, it was a journey of learning to believe in myself. It's like question everything you believe, but the number one thing that I should be believing in is me. And in the start, I was just going through so many different kinds of psychological hurdles, from deaths to, just losses of friendships, and just so many different aspects, that it was very hard to navigate that. But there was also these very important boundaries that had to be set. When I was going on my journey, it was like, yeah, I mean, I guess this whole life has been a journey, but I look at it, several years ago when I woke up and decided to sell everything I own and go out on the road. That's kind of where I look at it, is the starting point well, oh gosh, I say that and then I think, oh, but the time I was in Peru before that, and like I could, it's like all been a journey. But there was this point where I hit like a very deep depression. And if there was anybody that I perceived in my life that did not believe in me or believe in the path that I was choosing, they just couldn't be there. It was just so rocky there, trying to navigate, well, my depression, the depression that I was in, navigate, the seizures that I was having, navigate just that whole reality. And a lot of people just had to be not part of that. And it's just been very cool to see, like, how when you believe in yourself, and those people end up, certain people end up starting to come back into your life, and what that healing looks like. But there's also this big difference where I'd also recognize, let's say with my parents, that I was showing up in ways before, where I was showing up in the way that I thought would make them proud, what I believed they wanted from me. And I would sculpt my stories in a way that would kind of manipulate their view of me. And then I would cut out stories of things I knew that they just didn't didn't agree with, and I have a very religious family, so there's like many aspects of my life that I just didn't share. And then when I hit this point where I was making so many dramatic changes, I didn't even know where to begin because of the magnitude of deceit and lies that I'd also, like I just hadn't shown up as my authentic self really for anybody. And or for myself as number one, and learning how to do that, well, it was a journey. And so I get these opportunities like today I had a conversation with my dad, and it's just very fascinating to see the transformation and how today, like, I am just who I am. And I've spoken the truth to my journey. I share it with you guys, I share it with my family, and this is just how it is. I'm sure there is much more authenticity that I'm still digging on and pulling out and learning about myself. But, it was like my dad, when I was talking to him today, he had gone through a hardship, and he was just like pretty much explaining to me that it was like what I shared with him, that life is a perspective, and it's just kind of your own twists that you put on it. And that though this situation that came could have felt very, very like devastating, it was as if he could also see this other thing that came into play that he was rebuilding, and it all came down to this perspective. And what was so neat is to see that, like, when I just kept speaking my truth, no matter how it sounded and what it looked like, and to share my own healing journey, that we also help heal our families with that. Even whether we are having long dialogue with them or not, our bandwidth is entangled. When you heal you, you heal that part that's genetically connected to you. And it's just such a cool experience, like a novel experience every time to just see that, where it's like the child becomes the teacher, if you will. Because, you always are looking up to the parent as if they're the hierarchy. And it's not about that. It's not a one up, one down situation. It really was a point of seeing eye to eye. And so, like, even if there's a point in your life that you have to cut people out, like, and you know that you need to do that no matter who they are, make that choice. Pause, take a step back, and look at what you truly want for your future, and what, it's going to cost something in order to create it. There you have to make room. But know that if you trust that vibratory path, the journey of your heart, the frequency of that, that those that are supposed to be in your reality will. Zach was talking to this friend that had been in the jungle with us, and he had shared a part, like, when we were in the jungle, he decided, once he got home, that he was going to go and find his father and rekindle this relationship. And it was just very like, oh, wow, that's amazing. And then he did reach out to his father, and you got to hear the story of that journey. And when it comes to full circle years later, and how actually the relationship was a toxic one, and that there was a boundary that needed to be set, and that now today that person, the father, is not in the picture. But it's kind of like, this is, if you trust your process and your journey, those that are supposed to be there will, and you nurture and you nourish those relationships. And when you go out and you try and manipulate and control whatever, that future is going to be, well, you'll get lessons of why they weren't supposed to be there, so you can learn that lesson. But you could really save yourself a lot of pain by just stopping, listen to your heart, balancing the logic from the emotion. Like, really, it's like logically it's this, emotionally I feel this about it, come back to logic. It's one step, next step, this, next step, one at a time. And they balance each other. It's like back and forth. And that's what, I'm so excited to be able to sit here and share with you guys, because I'm living that. I'm living what that journey is. I'm living what it was to be in the darkest, deepest depressions and pull myself out of it. To do that, to have the discipline and watch what was going on with my mind. And really, without medications, and I think plant medicines are really wonderful. And yes, there was plant medicines that came into play, but I mean the deep psychiatric medicines that well, I tried everything. I tried even those back in the day, and I knew that they just didn't work, in the sense that even if you found one that seemed to be all right, like a psychiatric medicine, you end up building a tolerance for it. And it's just this long line. Like, it's just, that's not, you are the governor of your mind. You are the only one that can stop that negative thinking. No one else can do it for you. No matter how many people love you and that are around you in your life, you cannot feel it or perceive it that way if you do not love yourself. And they can't love you out of it. Only you can do that. And that's deeply what I learned. It was me who then had to balance and stop and realize that if I was just telling myself like sit there and do one positive affirmation, like I used to do, like this 15-minute set of affirmations every day, and I'd wake up doing that. Um, but I was telling myself thousands of negative things all throughout the rest of my day, that it didn't matter if it was 15 minutes or an hour that I was telling myself the good things. The balance was just so out of whack, and that it could only be me that stopped that. And so when I would recognize the pattern and the habituation and the fact that when you are deep within a depression, you are addicted to the chemicals that is releasing, the cortisol, all of that. And you are the chemist. You are the one that has the ability to balance that. And that's why meditations and sitting in silent places and playing music and creating, that was another thing that came to me this week. And it was something that about creating, that I had not really, I hadn't put it in the logic category. Like, I had um, been placing for a very long time creativity with the right side of the brain, with the imagination. That's where the creativity came from. But that's not accurate, actually. I did all this research on how to use your logical mind better and focus. And these are very important aspects to be able to focus and use how to use that logic. And so in that, logic was creative. This is that creative sense. When you are recreating, when you are creating stuff, you have to build it, and it's using that building structure, and logic comes into play. Let's say you were wanting to create a new world, let's say in a meditative space. There's certain laws and reasons. Like our world, for example, operates off of the phi ratio, so it's on a spiral. There's a certain I can't remember point. I can't remember the phi ratio off the top of my head at this very moment. It doesn't matter. Is that everything has a mechanic, and creativity actually is a mechanical operation and a building operation. And I had not looked at it that way. So in order to use and fine tune and strengthen my logical mind, well, creating was a huge part of that. And then when it came down to like breaking down, thinking about creativity, well, how does imagination come into play? And imagination is very much that right side of the brain. But I don't believe that we know really how to use our imaginations. I think that like maybe when we were born and we came out, there's like we were all born with imagination, but we weren't taught how to build that. Like, if we were to imagine, and imagination, like, it floods to me because I would teach about imagination in the Feldenkrais lessons and learn about imagination. But that's a recreation, which I'll get to that in a little bit. But the imagination, like, when I sit in a meditation, I think about, like building my protections within that space. And I am trying to create things that I've never even thought of before. The fact is, it's all similar to something. It's like I'm recreating something I've already seen. Let's say in my world, I end up wanting to put a tree in there, for example. And even if I make the tree all weird and funky, at the end of the day, it's a recreated tree. And that's where I'm jumping back into the recreation. It's like the bridge. There's like a three-part to it. You work on your creativity, you also have the recreation and that imagination. But in order for us to learn how to create something that has never even been thought of, to really, really use that imagination, it is through really using to our creative mind, starting to logic things, finding that balance, and opening up centers within our psyche, our beings, to be able to remember that we know how to do that. And constantly challenging your imagination. Nope, I've already thought of that before. Like, try and think of something that no one has ever imagined before, and keep on doing that. And that really gets quite the stimulation going. And I think those are really fun meditations to do, is think about building things. And by doing that, that really creates very protective spaces that nobody else would ever know about with you. And I could go farther into that, but it's important that you protect yourself. That there is energies out there, and that can hop onto your bandwidth too. And so making sure that you're doing the right steps to protect your space. I share, like, with some people that I was grateful that I was raised in a kind of a religion that taught me that there was like entities, if you will, and they used to teach, like, to cast it out. You would say, in the name of Jesus Christ, I cast you out, right? And there was power in that, and it showed you that there was a reason to be doing that. And so I'm grateful for learning about that, to understand that there is so much more metaphysically, so much more spiritually out there that my eyes can't perceive, but my energy can. And the way, to really finding that understanding and keeping aware is through discipline, and that process of self-love, and digging yourself out of the depressions, and not buying into the lies that you're telling yourself and cycling inside your mind. And to keep it really simple, guys, it's a dualistic reality. So you're all things. You're as shitty as you can imagine, and you're as awesome as you can imagine. It's your job to find the way to the center of that, because you are neither those extremes. You are more. And anyway, so that's kind of like the things that I've been learning about this week. The creativity was just like a big epiphany for me, and that recreative space, like that recreation, because I like, when I learned about the Feldenkrais method, that imagination was a huge key that Moshe Feldenkrais talked about. He would have you do full lessons while you just lied down on the floor, and just imagine doing certain movements, like moving your arm up over your head, and seeing how every part moves with that movement. So as you're lying there, imagining lifting your arm up, all of a sudden it's like, what's your ribs doing? And so you draw attention to what would your ribs be doing while you were raising up this arm? What is your knee doing? And you get all this really awesome connection. And so it was very, like, much brought to my forefront as that being an imagination. And yes, there is an imagination, if you will, in that space, an imaginative aspect to it, but it's still a recreation of your body, of you. And so there's like these different stepping stones to it. And so I'm exploring that more. I imagine I'll probably opine more on more of my discovery on that imagination. But I definitely do challenge you to try and think of anything that anybody has never thought of before, and try and draw that, or whatever that sounds like. Make sounds that just your imagination. So anyway, I went on a long thing. So gosh, I'm trying to think what else. Man, it's been really just a full week, and bringing in a lot of play and fun. And Zach's talked about it a little bit, but it was just like really fun, because we've been trying to go on a journey of finding, like, more things to do that are actually fun in reality. And I think it comes down to that, to make sure that we are creating our happiness. And so it just, like, how it expanded on itself, that Lucinda, who lives here on this property, she often has this, like, unicorn onesie she wears, and it's just very cute and very, like, just free spirited. Just how rad is that, to just kind of go around in, like, a unicorn onesie? And oh man, it just, like, warms my heart. There's something childlike, fun, playful about that. And I think as we get older and older, we lose that play and that child that is within us and still thriving in that space. Well, thriving, that's probably not the accurate word, still existing within that space. And whatever they're thriving on is based off of the snake, which snake you're feeding, the positive one or the negative one. What stories are you telling of your childhood? Are you still playing with that child that is there? And and I mean, I want to be that 90-year-old that is still running around like a goofy, like playing with like just playing, man, whatever that means. And so we had this idea. Lots of things are closed down here in California, where we're at. Like, so like Disneyland's closed, all the amusement parks, if you will. But I did find that the miniature golf course is opened. So we made a plan where we all want to go miniature golfing. And then that plan extrapolated just kind of based off of Lucinda's cute onesie she was wearing. Zach had this idea where perhaps we all got onesies and went miniature golfing with that, but then it transpired into just unicorn costumes. And so we have not gone on the adventure yet, but it's like all through the journey, like where we went online, we ordered the pieces that were going to go with every individual that's going. And they're just slowly like or quickly, actually much quicker than it said it would, are arriving from Amazon. So it's different packages that we get to open. And so it's just kind of like leading up to that day. And anyway, I just think it's important to find things that are different than you would normally do. I am definitely have not been for a very long time the kind of girl that would go out, and about in, like, some kind of unicorn outfit, if you will, but gosh, I think it is so fun to be able to do that, and unique and novel, and how many novel moments would you give to the world out there by going and doing something that's just absolutely different than what others do? Granted, it's Halloween right now, a lot of people are wearing costumes, I get that, but this kind of concept is outside of it just being Halloween time. Why couldn't it be February 6th, that we were making that decision, or May 18th, like just doing something that nobody would ever expect, that maybe not even you would expect of yourself, and see what happens. So, yeah, man, it's just that journey of self-love and care. And like I was saying, I'm very, very grateful to be here in this space. Today, it also did something novel and different here in California, is that it rained a little bit. And several weeks ago, I was going through, like, I just got this like longing for rain. Like this is literally the longest I've been in my life without experiencing rain. I grew up in Seattle, and Seattle is notorious for raining like always. And so I enjoyed the rain. Like I would go out and play and do whatever in the rain. I just, yeah, rain is pretty awesome. But I really was missing it. I was missing the sound of it. I was missing the experience and the tingling sensations of the feeling of rain on my skin. And I even had messaged a friend who had talked about it raining up in Seattle, and I was like, oh man, I miss it. And Zach ended up, like, I told him how I was missing it, and he played this like sounds of rain, and we have really great speakers, and that was very nice. I highly recommend that if you're away from rain. It's kind of like being up in Washington needing the sun, sit in front of a vitamin D lamp. It's like if you're missing the rain like that, literally just sit in front of the speakers and listen and meditate within that space. Like, oh man, but it felt amazing to have that rain come today and feel it for the first time. And like, I think it might have rained in February, maybe like when we first got here. But yeah, ever since then it has not been here, and it is a weird, weird feeling to just kind of like, I guess, have one season. It's a little bit chillier now. I'm wearing like a longer sleeve. I just threw this on, which is it's cool to kind of go through the transitions of life just like us. And I think rain can just wash away so many things. So anyway, so those are my thoughts. Definitely had lots of critters come into to reality, and I would love to hear how you've been, how you've seen like your animals that have come into play, any messages that have come to your life. Um, yeah. Uh, so I see Jacob. I did something novel as well. Samantha bleached my hair and the kids picked the color to dye it. I haven't done anything like that in 15 years. Oh, that is very novel. Oh my gosh, what color did they pick? Did they pick it yet? Oh, are you gonna just surprise us? Oh my gosh, that is so exciting. Oh, what a difference and a change. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna drink a little bit of water. Hold on. Dribbled. Oh my gosh, Jacob, how fun. I can't wait to see the pictures. I bleached my hair one time. I am not necessary. I'm glad I have dark hair. My cheeks are actually really rosy. I'm kind of like a redder person and blonde. Like I have a blonde streak. But mostly it's darker hair. But yeah, like when I was in college, I just decided well, it kinda started where I bleached my bangs, and that was really cool, I liked that, and then, I just got this wild hair, and I just decided to have this guy, like, bleach my hair one day, and it was pretty, oh, okay, you're gonna surprise us, that sounds good, I'll look forward to seeing your pictures, Jacob, that's awesome. But yeah, man, that was, probably the worst hairstyle I ever donned, but at the same time, like, I'm grateful I did the novelty. Like, I think, any day, like, I didn't regret it to that point. In fact, I ended up dyeing my hair, like, I was trying to dye it back dark brown, and it looked black when I did it, and I was like, "Oh, black actually looked really good." But, nowadays, I don't do the coloring of my hair. I just kinda go all natural these days, but, sure is fun, Jacob. Thank you for sharing that. Willow, you said, "I have never bleached my hair before. I'm convinced if I did, it would turn orange and fall out." Like, you have very dark hair, Willow, and, yeah, I would be very careful. Like, it would probably take a lot of treatments to do that. It's a lot of work, and it's very hard on the hair. I think our hair is very magical. But I when you thought it like, it reminded me of another time. Like, I remember I had a friend that came over and she was gonna put these highlights in my hair, blonde highlights. And again, I have the dark hair and it turned like all orange. And like that moment where you're so excited to see what you did and then you wash it out and it had like leopard prints all over my hair. It was pretty spectacular. It was in high school. So but yeah, Willow, I love your hair. I think your hair is really great. I don't know what other colors other than if you ever try and bleach it, perhaps you just do like a strand and see how that process goes. I gave myself a mohawk when I was 12. That was the craziest thing I've done with my hair. Oh man, I have not ever done a mohawk. Um but that is pretty rad. So at 12 years old, you're like running around. Now, my question is, did you put it in spikes or like was it like how did it go? Did you still have like long hair and then just the shaved sides or like yeah, I my biggest thing is did you do the spikes with the mohawk and was your hair still really long? Anyway, that's really rad, Willow. I like that. Thanks for sharing. I think it's really fun to do yeah, make little differences to ourselves. Cool. I like that. Okay. So, let's do this, guys. Let's do an animal reading and kind of check out where we're at for this week and yeah, so see where we're at now, what's going to be helping us and what is hindering us. Again, I'd love to hear what critters have come in to your realities lately. Um, yeah. Okay. So let's start. Choo, 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 choo. Where are, let's do helping us right here. Oh, we got it again. We got the boop bear that is helping us this week. Oh, sorry. I need a drink. Oh, that's funny. I got my throat. Okay. So animals, the ravens came to visit together today. It was nice to feel their presence. Oh, that is awesome. My Oh, my sister, had a baby and just a few months ago. I haven't not had the opportunity to meet her yet, but she actually named her Raven. So, and I've had a lot of crows in my reality. I have this one client that I've been working with, and twice the last two times I've been to her house, I mean, it's been like murders of crows. Like I don't even know how many to tell you, just massive amounts. I'm like, oh man, there's so much magic in the air. And same with ravens. That's very good. And I saw a skunk in my backyard at 4 a.m. Sunday morning. That's interesting. I actually saw a dead skunk this week. Yeah, so wow, Willow, we're kind of on that like same page. I got the reverse kind of medicine to that, but the skunk is really like with the black and white stripe, the balance. I can't remember what the exact aspect of skunk actually. I wonder if my book has it. I would like to know this. I've read it a few times. I'm not. Yeah, it is in here. 65. Reputation. Skunk, tell me. Yes. So it's your reputation. A reputation. Skunk, tell me this story, so I will know it well of how to attract and how to repel. Yeah, that's a good one. Skunks are very loving animals, actually. They seem to make for pretty good pets based off of what I've seen. Not that like I think they're wonderful out in the wild, and I've had a lot of really cool experiences with skunks, and ones that, well, more like the smelly drive by them too, but I haven't had anything more than like my dogs getting skunked or something like that. But skunks are really rad, really cool medicine. Reputation. Okay, so we're gonna go, where are we at now? And it's the upside down porcupine. I could go right side. Okay, and then what is hindering us this week? And the frog. What's hindering us? Yeah, they are cute, Willow, and yeah, but they do stink. I think most people that end up getting them as pets, they end up getting their scent glands removed, so like they just end up being more like a cat. But yeah, they sure are cute. I one time my dad lived in the mountains when I was driving up there, and it looked like this like black garbage bag, like, floating like, kind of blowing across the street or something. I'm like, "What is that?" I was, like, far enough away, and when I got up close to it, it was, like, a whole, like, stream of baby skunks following their mother, and, that was a really cool experience. Yeah, that was rad. That was rad. I love skunks. Okay, so we're gonna start with what is helping us this week. Bear 57. And that's that introspection. Bear, invite me into the cave where silence surrounds the answers you gave. The strength of bear medicine is the power of introspection. It lies in the west on the great medicine wheel of life, and that's death. East and west. That's where the sun goes down, the day ends. Bear seeks honey or the sweetness of truth within the hollow of an old tree. In the winter, when the ice queen reigns and the face of death is upon the earth, Bear enters the womb cave to hibernate, to digest the year's experience. It is said that our goal resides in the West also. To accomplish the goals and dreams that we carry, the art of introspection is necessary. To become like Bear and enter the safety of the womb cave, we must attune ourselves to the energies of the eternal mother and receive nourishment from the placenta of the great void. That's really awesome. Like just the great void and the crow's willow. And for those that are there, is void magic is so yeah. So we have the bear. The bear is black too. So like kind of having some similarities. The great void is the place where all solutions and answers live in harmony with the questions that fill our realities. If we choose to believe that there are many questions to life, we must also believe that the answers to these questions reside within us. Each and every being has the capacity to quiet the mind, enter the silence, and know. Many tribes have been called this space. are called this space of inner knowing the dream lodge, where the death of the illusion of physical reality overlays the expansiveness of eternity. It is the dream lodge that our ancestors sit in council and advise us regarding alternate pathways that lead to our goals. This is the power of Bear, the female receptive energy that for centuries has allowed visionaries, mystics, and shamans to prophesy is contained in the very special bear energy. In India, the cave symbolizes the cave of Brahma. Brahma's cave is considered to be the pineal gland that sits in the center of the four lobes of the brain. If we if if one were to imagine an overview of the head, the top of it would be a circle. The south would be the forehead, the north the back of the skull, the west would be the right brain, and the east the left brain. Bear is in the west, the intuitive side, the right brain. To hibernate, Bear travels to the cave, which is the center of the four lobes where the pineal glands resides. In the cave, Bear seeks answers while she is dreaming or hibernating. Bear is then reborn in the spring, like the opening of spring flowers. When I'm reading that, it literally like is making me think like how I said, as I explore farther on like the imagination side of things, it's literally like go hibernate in that side for a little bit, go inside the cave and see what answers, are going to open up, and so I just feel like and the feminine and all of that comes to that imagination, that imaginative side. And so pretty awesome that Bear is coming to help with that. For I or eons, all seekers of the dream time and the visions have walked the path of silence, calming the internal chatter, reaching the place of rites of passage. The channel or pineal gland from the cave of Bear, you find the pathway of the dream lodge and the other levels of imagination or consciousness. I literally just said that, you guys. That is awesome. I was thinking too, like, for those of you that might not know, that might be tuning in, like the pineal gland is what they say is like that third eye, that space that uh, uh, gives a higher level of consciousness, another level of sight, a deeper level. And that pineal gland is inside the brain. In choosing Bear, the power of knowing has invited you to enter the silence and become acquainted with the dream lodge so that your goals may become concrete realities. This is the strength of Bear. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome, you guys. Like, I love like coming on this show, talking to you about what I've learning, like what I've been learning, and then like kind of send the questions out to the universe and then like do these card draws. And it's like, uh wow. Oh my gosh. Wow. I want to be the bear. Oh, hi, Shruti. Shruti. Oh my gosh. It's so awesome that you're tuning in. Shruti, you guys, she went to school with me and we learned the Feldenkrais method together. And she is really, really awesome. And I say, go check her out. She definitely posts videos about how to heal yourself as well, and really rad. Well, that's awesome. Thank you. I'm melting. Shruti, it is so cool that you are here. I love you and I'm giving you a great big hug. Yeah, what a fun time that was. All right, so we're going to talk about where we're at now, which is the porcupine. And so we're going to go over here and it says innocence is what you're awesome. I love you. So, porcupine medicine is innocence. Porcupine, remind me of innocence again. With every man a brother, each woman a friend. Aw. This card also like came in reverse. Um, so in contrary, it says, in pulling the porcupine card reversed, you're giving yourself a timely warning that you cannot win the game of life if you are too serious. In some area of your life, you may be feeling hurt or afraid of trusting again. It is possible that life has recently dealt you a hard blow. If this is so, it is time to begin again by placing faith in your ability to overcome the lesson with joy. That's like the hummingbird medicine, which is great because I'm going to play my flute and the hummingbird always comes in with it because it's painted on it. Are you willing to trust yourself? It says. If so, you might begin by writing down the feelings that come out of the situation. How can you, as your adult self, comfort you, the child within, and teach your inner child how to have faith and trust again. Oh my gosh, and here this comes, because we were just also talking about that inner child and what story you're telling of it, and, like, pulling it out, just like we're gonna go run around in our cute little unicorn onesies and, the costumes, and, like, pulling out that play and enjoying this life, and what story and what life are you giving that child? It's still, it is your teacher just as you're its teacher. You're both a symbiote to that. If you want to remember how to play, go and look at the heart of a child. Look at that imagination that is just pouring out of them, and go utilize that in your life. And that's what this porcupine is coming to say, don't make it stick its quills in you. It makes me think like how I used to always say, the way I learn is the hurty way. Everything has to hurt before I make the choice to make it the change. But that's a choice. And that's where changing that demographic and that mindset, that was an ingrained mindset. I cannot learn if it doesn't hurt. And that is not how it has to be. But if I don't change that mindset, that's going to be what I continually attract to my life. And that is the way I will habituate it. So stop it. Stop poking yourself with those quills. Go and explore and try novel things and do something you'd never even expect, and see what comes of that. See what comes. It says the ill dignified porcupine is belly up with its quills stuck in the ground. This is rather a defenseless position. You may be forcing yourself to be vulnerable so that you can regain your hope. Oh, regain, excuse me. You may be forcing yourself to be vulnerable so that you can regain your hope. And it is, you guys, it is in the space of being vulnerable that you regain that. You must get uncomfortable to be comfortable. It's just the reality of the situation. Trying something different is uncomfortable because it's the fear of the unknown. But when you learn to trust yourself, that fear dissipates, because you trust yourself. You trust the good and the bad. It was like my conversation with my dad today. He said something that would kind of mirror that lesson. So stop poking your quills into the ground and turn yourself right side up and make yourself vulnerable to the situation. Trust yourself. And perhaps you needed to roll over to get your tummy patted. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. So perhaps you needed to just show that belly to the right people, and they weren't actually going to kill you because you exposed your belly. They actually wanted to adore you and love you and give you such a wonderful gift as a belly rub. you know? And so, but if you were constantly in that defensive position with your quills up, you would miss that beautiful belly rub. But you have to get vulnerable and put yourself in that position to be able to receive it, or you'll never get it. And it comes with a choice and making the decisions to change. So I love that. This position could therefore indicate that you are ready to accept a little love from others. In any case, if you are not willing to trust again, this card is forcing you to look at why, or at why not. And that's it. Like, if there's a reason that you can't trust yourself right now, and I would say there probably is, we're telling ourselves lies all over the place, all over the place. This is an answer that came to me in the jungle. That I rode on a serpent through an endless sea of thought to figure out who I am, and all that matters is who I am not. That is the poem that came to me while I was in the jungles of Peru. And what that means to me is that what mattered is why I was showing up for other people, not as myself, as if this is what my mother wanted me to be. This is what my father wanted me to be. This is what my teacher wanted me to be. Not this is what I wanted me to be. It was a lie I was projecting out to my external reality. Or if I am saying I'm like shitty at something, well, maybe it's the only reason that I'm shitty at it is because I've never done it before. And now having a little bit of love and compassion and changing the dialogue and the way that you're talking to yourself and changing how you perceive that and go, well, you know what? I'm only going to get better from here on up, instead of lying to yourself that you're the shitty person because you did something that was shitty. Like there's these aspects that we're constantly not telling the truth to ourselves, and that is a key. And so exactly like what the last line of the porcupine, which is why or why not, like take that moment to look why are you doing this? Where are you right now? Why can't you trust yourself? Well, maybe there are things that you're doing that are untrustworthy and you need to stop it. It's not that you're a bad person because there's lies within the space. Like if you get stuck on those things, you're not going to be able to see. It will create a false reality, a prison that's distorted and twists it. So you can't see the love that is being projected at you from your mother, or your father, or your lover that's with you, or your children. Like if you're not loving yourself, you can't trust yourself either. So it's taking those steps, and vulnerability is a big key. And that's why, like this medicine, animal medicine, like these messages, like we could draw any card, and I imagine we could find the truth in our lives for any card we drew today. These just happen to be the ones that are giving us profound suggestions of what, like shining lights of what we could look at this week on ourselves. Where are we at now? Well, right now, we're not trusting ourselves very much. Why is that? Where is our confidence? And I believe that these animals, by touching consciousness to that message, there's a reason that animism and animal medicine, Americans, indigenous tribes, cultures way back 100,000 years, longer than any Christianity, anything, have followed animals. They have something to teach us. They're answering our prayers. They're giving us signs and clues and teaching us about patience and hard work and metamorphosis is like the butterfly that has come that shows you the journey and the lineage. And we learn through story and metaphor. We learn through that. And so this is why I love to bring the message of the animals. Look outside the box. Look at a different way to look at your life. Be kinder and gentler. Have fun. See the play that is all around. Pick up that bug that is crawling there and see the exoskeleton that is on this creature, and where you might be having that exoskeleton and what you gain from it and what you don't gain from it, or whatever that is. It's way better than to think about what Susie was possibly saying or not saying about you last week, and you can't let go of that. It's something more fun, and we like stopping those looping patterns of of our minds and being like, no, I'm going to look at this aspect, heal myself over here. So this is why I think this next card, and this is what's hindering us, and it's cleansing, or we're most likely not doing that cleansing of self. And of course I tell you, oh, the rains came, and now I draw the frog medicine. Of course that's going to come into play. And frogs are very, very powerful animal totems. They have been around for a very long time. And it says, frog, sing, frog, sing, call the rains, quench the dryness, cleanse the earth, then fill me up again. Frog sings the songs that bring the rain and make the road dirt more bearable. Frog medicine is akin to water energy and the east on the medicine wheel. See, we get the balance of the east and west, death and rebirth, directly with what we read, hindering and helping us, the bear and the frog, like the east and the west. It's saying it right here. I love it. The sunrise and the sunset, east and west, start of the day, end of the day. All water rites belong to frog, including the initiations by water. Water prepares and cleanses a body for sacred ceremony. It is the element we understand best in the womb. Frog, like ourselves, is a polywog in the fetal waters and only learns to hop after it experiences the world of fluidity. This is sometimes I have these random thoughts that come in, and when it says the hop, hip hop. I got into hip hop when I met Zach. It is wonderful music. I don't know if you guys have listened much to it. It is freaking spectacular and mind blowing, the linguistic capabilities of hip hop, and not only like training my mind to like understand double entendres and this crazy shit that they're spitting out towards us and the meanings behind it has been mind blowing to me. So if you have not been into hip hop in your life, I can give you recommendations of what to go down. There's a difference between hip hop and rap. And the reason why I'm saying this is because hip hop literally was started to talk about being hip to your own hop, being true to your own self, making sure that your hop is within your authentic self, your dreams, your strength. So I think that the frog right there, when I was reading that, was like reminding me that it's important that we're being hip to our own hop, you guys. And it says the hop, it says only, sorry, frog, like ourselves, is a polywog in the fetal waters and only learns to hop after it experiences this world of fluidity. So you get that hop, like when you see that the world is fluid, and if you're just malleable to the fluidity of this life, you will be able to know the next right step. You're going with the flow, you're being malleable, you're able to be hip to your own hop, not throwing in resistances and control and manipulations that are going against the flow. So anyway, those thoughts came to me when I read that. The transformation in adulthood prepares Frog for its power to call in the waters of the skies, the rain. And knowing the element of water, Frog can sing the song that calls the rain to the earth. When the ponds are dry, Frog calls upon the thunder beings to cleanse and replenish the earth with water. Like Frog, we are asked to know when it is time to refresh, purify, and refill the coffers of the soul. If Frog hopped into the cards you chose today, its ribbit may be calling in the cleansing you need. If you were to look at where you are today, would you use any of the following words to describe your condition? Tired, overloaded, harried, frustrated, guilty, itchy, nervous, at a loss, empty, or weakened? If so, take a break and allow yourself to bathe in the waters of frog medicine. This could mean a long, relaxing bath, disconnecting the phone, yelling stop, or taking in deep, cleansing breaths. The key thought is to find a way to rid yourself of distractions and to replace the mud with clear energy. Then replenish your parched spirit, body, and mind. An ability of frog medicine, people, is to give support and energy where it is needed. A frog medicine person can clean negativity from any environment. Many mediums or clairvoyants who work with cleaning haunted houses carry frog medicine. Many of the world's seers use water on their hands when tapping into other realms of reality due to water's superconductive nature. We talk about it on this show in the power of water. Like before I drink on the like meditations, I'm like, no, set your intentions with the water and it will change the architecture and the vibrations and the energy of the water going in. It could change. Yeah. So here we go. I mean, the water is super powerful. In Mayan and Aztec shamanistic practices, the shaman places water in his or her mouth and sprays it over the body of a patient to clear any negative away negative energy. And it was rose water they used. The Shipibo tribe, they actually would drink it and they spit it atop your head and other areas. Oh, it was the most spectacular feeling and sense and oh, unbelievable energy that came with that. Powerful, powerful stuff that exists out there, you guys. This is done while holding the thought of frog firmly in the mind so that healing may occur and the patient may be replenished with positive energy. Sometimes dried and stuffed frogs are also used to guard the person's body during the session. Frog speaks of new life and harmony through its rain song. The deep tones of Frog's ribbit are said to be, excuse me, a call to the thunder beings. Thunder, lightning, and rain. The ribbit is the heartbeat that comes into harmony with Father Sky and calls for the replenishment needed. Call to frog and find peace in the joy of taking time to give to yourself. A part of this giving is cleansing yourself of any person, place, or thing that does not contribute to your new state of serenity and replenishment. Oh my gosh, I love, especially again, that last line. Like it really goes right into what I was talking about today. When you are cleansing and replenishing your life and setting the boundaries that are necessary for you to do that, no matter who, what, why, the situation, like when you know, uh, it's just really rad that the medicine just like mirrors so much of like what we were just talking about. This is where the state of serenity and replenishment comes from, you guys. You want to know how to love yourself, man. You got to cleanse yourself. You got to take a moment to stop and pause, and you need to ask why. If you want to live that life of your dreams, it's just part of the mechanic. It's a part of getting to know and understand and become hip to your own hop, man. And it wasn't what was taught to us. It wasn't readily available to most of us. Most of us were raised in some kind of Western society, and that we weren't privy to a lot of this information and medicine that exists, and yet we are. Like here it is, and now we're getting to learn it. But as I said, it's question everything it is that you absolutely believe, and that's important. It's very important if you want that true happiness and fun and play, and what the heck is the point if you're not having that? What the heck is the point? Don't be so serious. And I love you guys, and I'm glad you're here. And it is so rad, Willow. I love you. I love you, love you, love you. So, um, with that, that's kind of my thoughts on that. I think let's do some cleansing meditation. Let's call in the rains, and drink some water, you guys, if you haven't already, and set your loving intentions in your water, and drink that. Every part of your cellular structure is listening. What is it that you want? I want joy and happiness and love, and my friends to be there with me as they are right now. So cheers to you. Cheers, cheers, cheers to you. Yeah. So, um, let's begin with a meditation. And if any of you are ready, you could either listen if you're driving or in some kind of position that you can't stop. Please join in and wait. If you can, just imagine it with your eyes open or closed, and just take some moments of breath. But for those that are ready to do a meditation, if you can just find a spot that's comfortable to sit and or lie down, which is whichever you find to be the most comfortable for you. We'll begin. We'll bring in some sound and to balance those chakras and the energy within the space. And we'll just start with our own cleansing breaths. So begin by just breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. So breathe in positivity into that vessel, and exhale any dense energy you might be feeling. Breathe in the cleansing breath, cleaning out any dense energy that might be inside your vessel. Very good. And then with the next breath, imagine breathing in this healing, cleansing crystalline light, and circle that around inside your belly. And then take that and exhale that beautiful energy out into your space, out into your auric field. And continue that breath, breathing in and out easily. And just see how deep you can get that breath. I like to imagine my breath coming all the way down to the depths of my toes. Can I get the energy and air all the way down to my toes? And seeing that crystalline light flowing down to that space, and then exhaling it out through that space. Very good. And then take a moment to be with just you in this calm space. And then we're going to create an even safer space for us. Imagine in your mind, well, where else are you going to do that? Imagine drawing a triangle that is directly above your head. And then take the corners of that triangle and connect the points of that below your feet. And then draw another triangle below you and connect the points of that triangle above your head. And this should look like a 3-dimensional Star of David. This is your Merkaba. This is a space that has been talked about in many, many different esoterical and biblical teachings. There is power within this space for you. There is safety within this space for you. And only love can enter here. Your love, your heart. And breathe in the love. You are a beautiful being and so worthy. And now we'll take a moment to just breathe that love in and out. Very good. Very good. And now we bring deeper introspection. I would like to invite the bear into our space. Can you see the image of the bear now? I love bears, don't you? Bear, invite me into the cave where silence surrounds the answers you gave. And see the bear. And then on top of your head, your crown of your head, you have a wiring system. Take this wiring system and connect it to the heart of the bear. And the wires look like the double helix, like your DNA, because it is. Connect your DNA, your wires to the heart of this bear to bring about the introspection inside your space. And breathe with this breath, the bear in, down through your crown of your head, down into your mind, freeing your west side of your mind, that right mind, opening up the space for a realm of imagination. And breathe the bear down through your throat, opening up the ability to speak this beautiful creative imagination. And breathe that bear down into your heart, where that introspection that you're asking for is that in the frequency of love, of your heart, of you guiding you. Very good. And now we're going to move over to the porcupine that I would like to call into our space. The porcupine with all of its innocence. See the porcupine crawling in here, crawling towards you. And take more of your wiring system, more of that DNA and connect it to the heart of this porcupine and breathe that in. Breathe her in. Porcupine, remind me of innocence again, with every man or brother, each woman a friend. Breathe in the guidance down through your mind, down through your throat and into your heart, giving you and providing you the energy of vulnerability, of opening up your mind to ask the questions why. Very, very good. And now we call for cleansing. And now we call in the frog and see the frog come. Sing, frog, sing, call the rains, quench the dryness, cleanse the earth, then fill me up again. Very good. And now do the same. Take more of your wires and connect it to the heart of the frog. And breathe, breathe in the cleansing energy of the frog, washing you from your crown to your toes. And breathe it down through your mind and through your throat and into your heart and into your belly, circling the energy and cleaning the gut of any anxieties. And breathe the frog down into your sacral regions, cleansing the relationships. And breathe the frog down into your root, deep into the earth and back into you. And now sit with this space. Sit with the frog and the porcupine and the bear. And I'll play for you the joys. What beautiful energy this has brung. Which so much calmer than when we begun. Breathe in now. Take a breath and see how you feel. Breathe in that light and circle it around in your space. See how the cellular structure feels now, and how the sound can balance the space, bringing about the cleansing and the love and the vulnerability and the joy. What beautiful work you do for you by being here and loving you. Now take a moment and give yourself some more love. And put that right hand over your heart. And imagine giving yourself an abundance of a serotonin flow, an abundance of an oxytocin flow, chemicals in your body that bring about more happiness and more love flowing into your vessel to take you with the rest of your day. And now take your left hand and place that over your right hand, over your heart. This is your receiving hand. Receive the love you just gave and circle that around, giving and receiving to you first, loving you first, filling your waters in your cup first, perceiving your love first so you can perceive others. You've done so well, and I see you and I love you. Tell yourself that if you believe it. The things you love about you, something. There's so much about you that is just so awesome. So happy you're here. And I love you. Now take your arms and hands, and I'm going to set this down. And if you haven't opened your eyes, wrap your arms around you and give yourself a giant hug. And I'm hugging you back. And this is even more oxytocin flowing into your system. I love you, and I'm grateful that you're here, and I'm grateful that you've come on this journey with me, and taking the moment to explore of what that looks like to heal you and to create more love and joy. And what a gift that is, and what a beautiful energy and fun play that you added to your life by going on a fun meditation, playing with animals, playing with you, playing with your creations within your mind's eye. And that, my friend, ripples out into your reality. Thank you for being here. And anyone that's new, I love you too. Whether I know you or not, your energy is felt, and you're important, and you're very loved. And this is the safe healing space that we all get to come to together. And I'm grateful for all the new people that have come and are viewing these videos. I think it's awesome. And I see you. And I am just so honored to be on this journey with you and watch us grow as we are. And I always say, please like and share this video so we can expand the consciousness of the world and have more and more of an awesome place that we can all come together and share about our journeys and the animals that we see. I think you are awesome. And I love you. And again, giant hugs to you as I'm just holding tight. And yeah, I see there's a couple really, really awesome things. You're welcome, Willow. It's just my pleasure. Really, it's my pleasure. And thank you. I feel like it was just very beautiful all around. Like I feel just such a beautiful energy within this space. Oh, hi, Sammy. Oh, man, I am happy to see you in here. You came at the exact time you were supposed to be here, and I'm sending you so much love. And it's awesome to see you every time you pop on. I know it's a crazy time there. And you said, sorry, the clocks went back here yesterday and threw me out. Oh, and I know you're in England. I know it's a very different time where you are. So clocks getting changed and all of that. Well, I'm glad you're here. Much love to you and and Patty. I'm happy that you're here too. You guys just mean just the world to me that we get to do this together. And I love you, and I hope to see you again very soon. If you need anything, I'm here. Reach out, and more to come in the near future. And yeah, I think that is all for today. I love you, giving you much love and kisses, and I will look forward to seeing you here next week, or if not sooner. We'll see if I post more because I really am enjoying. I enjoy this stuff so much. So I love you. See you soon.